Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Deepcool FH10, a 10-port fan hub. Keep watching to find out more. Now this is going to be a relatively generic unboxing. I'm not going to be putting it into a build or anything like that, and I actually won't be testing the fan speeds, but let this video serve as a warning to those of you that may be considering purchasing one of these, because it is at a fantastic price, which we'll go into in a little bit, but this actually may not be the fan hub you're looking for. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, a little bit of a backstory. So as you probably know, if you've watched this channel before, I do unboxings on cases, fans, all kinds of tech stuff. Now recently I've got a new case and it's got an absolute ton of fans in it. Now to be precise, it's actually got 6 fans in it, which is possibly slightly overkill, but maybe some of you that are watching this are interested in putting a lot of fans in your system, maybe for water cooling, that kind of thing, radiators, etc, etc. So this fan hub controller is designed so that you can connect up to 4 fans to one controller, then connect the PWM controller to your motherboard so you only use up one header. Now obviously, if you're using a lot of fans in your system, although they are relatively low voltage and wattage and all that kind of stuff, it all does mount up and it's all extra strain on your motherboard. So in some cases, no pun intended, it's actually easier to use a fan hub. Also, you can put the hub at the rear of your case, connect all the wires behind so you don't have lots of wires trailing around all over the place trying to get to the various fan headers on your motherboard. Now most reasonably good motherboards will have 3, maybe 4, sometimes slightly more fan headers, which is great, but you don't really want to be also adding to the strain and using something like this. Now this is a simple Pwm Splitter Cable. These again, very inexpensive. You can pick them up on Amazon for a couple of pounds or a few dollars, and this will split one PWM port into 2 headers, so you can connect 2 fans into one port. But again, if you're using a lot of fans, you don't want to have a load of these stretched around your system as well. Another thing to tidy up, and it's pretty much unnecessary. Ideal for smaller systems, if you've maybe only got one chassis fan header and you just want to put a couple of fans at the front or the top or wherever, ideal for that kind of setup. But for more fans, really, you should be looking at a dedicated solution with its own power supply. So let's take a look at this and I'll actually show you what you get and speak about some of the usage. So the packaging itself is pretty nice, pretty simple. And actually I did notice all the specs are on the back, so you can read that off. It isn't actually completely clear from the packaging one of the big downfalls of this, which we'll come into in a little bit. But let's take it open and have a look inside. It's got a pull-out flap on the bottom, which gives you the actual controller itself. So we'll put that to one side for the moment and take a look at the rest of the accessories. So actually inside the box, you get your accessory pack, and on the back of the box, you actually get the instructions on how to use it, and it tells you what's inside the packaging. So to me, that's a great idea. It's a great way of using the packaging, and also cuts down on paper because you don't have a separate paper pamphlet to read through. So in the accessories you get a piece of 3M Velcro which you can attach to the back of the device, and then you can peel that off and then stick that into the back of your chassis somewhere. And that's quite handy being Velcro, so it's not permanently mounted, so if you do need to make any adjustments or it's a little bit fiddly back there, you can just tear the Velcro apart. The controller will come away from the chassis and you can make any adjustments or changes you need to do without having to try and sort of squeeze your fingers into tight spaces. Fantastic. Also, you get a SATA to 2-pin connector, and this is what supplies the 12-volt DC to the actual controller. So again, it's nice to see a SATA connection rather than the old-fashioned Molex. So that's definitely a plus point. The next cable is essentially a PWM signal device. So this will plug into your chassis fan on your motherboard, the port on there, and the other end then attaches to the controller at the bottom. Now all these bits on here are actually clearly marked out, so you've got CPU fan, power, and on the sides you've got the fans which are numbered from 1 through to 10, so you can work out where it's going. Now one thing they do actually mention in this is your primary PWM controller, or the one you want to actually kind of register, is on port 1. So if you want to get a RPM reading from the fans, you do need to connect that to fan port 1. Further on this actual device, you've got a LED which lights up to signify that it's actually powered on and working, but other than that, it's a pretty simple affair. Now, it's quite nice to see this actually coated in a plastic case, because obviously there are electronics inside there, and they are 12 volts, some of them. So if for some reason you accidentally touch the side of your case while you're reassembling it and it's on, I know it's a weird thing, but these things do happen. Sometimes you've got your PC on and you're tinkering around with something in the back. The last thing you want to do is to touch any of those prongs to cause a short circuit. So it's nice to see it's got a plastic cover on it. So that is the good parts. Now the bad part is this actually will not work with 3-pin fans. So you do actually need to have a 4-pin PWM fan connected to every one of those ports. If you don't connect it as a 4-pin PWM, just a 3-pin, which is normally controlled by voltage, the fan will run at full speed. So if you're trying to control the fan speed or the fan noise in your chassis or case, this is definitely not for you if you're planning to use 3-pin fans. So if you're using something with a 4-pin, such as like this AMD cooler, it's got the 4 pins with all 4 wires on them. So you've got your voltage, your ground, your speed, and also your PWM. So all those things on there, but you do need to have those 4. So if you've got something like this, which I think is just a generic case fan, and this has just got the 3 pins on it, so that one is regulated by voltage, this will just run at full speed. This control box has no method of controlling fans via voltage, it's PWM or nothing. So that covers that. Now, I actually bought this to do a build, which I'm trying to finish off, which unfortunately for me, all of the fans are actually 3-pin. Now, it did say in the Amazon listing that this will only work with 4-pin PWM on fan port 1. It wasn't entirely clear whether or not it would work with 3-pin, so I thought I'd buy it, give it a go. It was $9.99. If you want to buy it in America, you're looking around about $13. Now, the prices actually do change quite a lot on these, so do shop around. You can get some really good prices around about £10. Like I said, I have seen them as much as £20 or $24 on some sites. So obviously do shop around if you're looking for one of these fan splitters. But the most important thing, the takeaway from this video, is the fact that if you're planning to use 3-pin headed fans, or like on some of these cheaper fans, if it's only got the 3 pins on there, you will not get any speed control from the actual unit or from your motherboard. It will always run at full speed. Now, if you're planning to run your fans at full speed all the time anyway, not a problem at all. But if you do want to regain control of your fans, then the Deepcool FH10 is not going to be the one for you. This is purely PWM only. So there you go, there's a quick unboxing and my thoughts on the Deepcool FH10. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and we'll catch you in the very next video. Oh, and if there's any of you out there that actually needs one of these and has all their fans on 4-pin PWM, drop me a comment and let me know where you live, and maybe I'll post it out to you, because it's not a lot of use to me right now. Thanks for watching.